Hello and how are you? My name is Mohindo Mbarak and I welcome you to the 8th video of creating a complete e-commerce web application using plain PHP. In the previous classes we just learned how to upload an image, and we learned also how to compress that image. So today we're going to proceed from there and complete that logic of uploading a category or adding a product category into our system, as well as inserting it to the database. So I hope you're good to get started or to continue with me. If you are, then let's resume. So we stopped here where we were able to we are here where we're able to do what? To upload a product with this category. Category with this with its respective file or image. So what we're going to do, we're going to create here one more category, for example clothing. Okay, save this image and I'm going to call it clothing. So what I'll do, I'll just come and say clothing. Okay, and then I'm going to drag and drop this image to this file here. Okay, and then I'll say upload. Okay, so you can see the image has been uploaded with as well as its thumbnail. So if I come and open this thumbnail, I'll be able to see it. Okay, so let's resume from there straight. Where are we? So this is admin category add, and this is a place where we've been uploading images, and these are the images that we're getting. So this is an array of images. So let's go ahead and now see how we can insert this data into the database. So to do that, first of all, we're going to determine which tables, which information we need to insert in the database, by just simply coming to our localhost stroke phpMyAdmin and then go to categories. So from there we will see the columns that we need to enter data into. So I'll go ahead and paste these columns here, put this protected area here, and then I'll go ahead and paste these columns here like this, and then I keep the naming. Okay, so the ID is auto incrementing, so we don't need it. Then we'll have to enter the name, the photos, and then the parent ID, and then the destination. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing is we're going to put this thing into an array, and we're going to create a function that is going to do the whole logic of uploading these things in the same place without even repeating ourselves. So after determining what we need, so let us go ahead and put these things into an array. So the first thing is the name. So I'll just simply go ahead and get the name that has been sent from the post. For instance, I can just simply say data and then say name equals, and then this is going to be it's going to be the name that was submitted from the post. It's going to be named like this. Okay, so and then we have the photos. So the photo is going to be the photos that we just compressed these images. Okay, so it's going to be photos here. So after compressing these images, you should know one thing, that these images are it's not a string, it is it is an array. As you can see here, it is an array. So we're going to convert it into JSON so that it should become a string, and when we'll be reading from them, we'll be converting back into an array. So we're just going to say images. Here we're going to just put here in photo, we're going to put JSON encode. So it's going to change these images into a string. Okay, then the next thing is the parent ID. We have not worked on that, and the description we have not worked on it, but we're going to so before we work on those ones, let us first write the logic of creating one method that will be working on the logic of inserting the data into our database. So I'm going to comment this function so that you should not keep on uploading images every time. Okay, and every time we refresh, I will uncomment it when you when you finish writing that logic of inserting the data. Otherwise it will keep on adding here images into our folder. So after doing that, now the next thing is now to write the SQL. But as I said, we're going to create just one function that is going to work on that whole logic of adding data into our SQL. So let's go ahead and create this method. Okay, so of course it's going to be in the file of what? In the file of functions. So let me first close everything. Right click here and say close others, and then I'll come to functions. It is here, functions. So in this functions file is where we're going to put that method that is going to work on the logic of adding anything in our table. So let's go ahead and do that and create that method. So it's going to be maybe you can call it my insert, db insert. Okay, let's call it db insert function, and then db underscore insert. Okay, and then we're going to put the logic there. So first things first, first of all we need the table name. Okay, so let's go ahead and get here the table name. This is going to be dynamic. Okay, table underscore name. The second thing we're going to need now the what? The data. So this data is going to be an array of data. So let's go ahead and now create the SQL, generate the SQL. So you can now generate the SQL by saying SQL equals to, and then you open the bracket, open the quotes and say insert into. So here we're going to pass now the table name, insert into table name, and then you say values. Okay, so now after there we're going now to create a column of values. Okay, a column of values and then the column of data. So let's go ahead and see how we can do that. So here we'll be accepting in this data we'll be accepting an array, an associative array. Otherwise, if you don't send an associative array, then it will not make sense. So we'll be accepting an associative array with the what? With the key as the table column name, and the value as the value that's going to be entered in a what? In a row. So let's go ahead and just dump what has come. Okay, echo pre-tag, and then we just dump print underscore r, and then dump whatever's coming data and die here. So let's go ahead and call now this method to try to insert data into the category. So I'll just simply come here and then say here, okay, this is the place where inserting data. So I'm just going to call this method insert data, and the table name is going to be categories, and then the data is going to be data, of course. So this is how we'll be sending the data. See, this is the data name, and then this is the column name, and these are what? These are the values. So let's go ahead and refresh and see what we've got. You see, I'm trying to dump here everything that has come through with the data parameter or variable. Let's go ahead and refresh and see what we've got. So you can see we have clothing, and then we have photo, which is just having an empty string like that. So after doing that, now the next thing that we're going to do, we are going to loop through these as we create an SQL with the name of value and the value itself. So now let's go ahead and do what? And loop through this data. So I'm just going to say for each, okay, so here it's going to be data, okay, and then as you can see here, the keys will be saved here. For example, let me echo here, echo keys, and then the value. Input here some HR so you can see this, the difference. Save. If I come and refresh here, you realize that the name is the key, that's the name of the column, and the value is the understand the value. So this will be the name of the column, and then this one will be the name of what? Of the key. So let's go ahead and do that. So you're just going to have now, if you remember the format of our SQL, we have the column, then the word value, then the values themselves. So let us go ahead and create here a variable that we're going to call column names. Okay, names, columns, column name, I don't know, equals to nothing for now. And then after, we'll just create another thing called values, column values, okay, row values, whatever I call it. Table columns and table values. Anyway, the main point here is one will be the column, will store the names on the column, and the other one will store the names of what, of the values. Okay, so after doing that, the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to now do what? Now start adding. Okay, so if we realize that if you realize in SQL at last they're not supposed to be what? They're not supposed to be a comma. So that's we're going to determine whether we are still at the first or not. So I'm just going to say is first first equals to true. So when once finishes the first, we'll set it to what? False. So I'm going to check if is first and put here else. Okay, so if it's first, I'll make it now false. Okay, false. Otherwise, we're going to add a comma because we'll know that something has been added to that column. Okay. Okay. Here, column values. I have to put a comma here. Comma. We put here a quote, and then also values. So it means that if something is not the first, if it's not the first, you have to separate with the what? With the comma. That's the whole point of why we are putting here a quote. Otherwise, if it's the first, then we will not need to put there a comma before it. That is how we are trying to create the what? The SQL. So after doing that, now the next thing that we have to do, now we have to add this this value into this value on the what? On the SQL, on the Excel. I mean on the column. So the column name will be concatenated dot equal to. Always remember to add this dot in before the equal sign, others to be skipped. So this one will be keys like that, and then this one will be the value. Trying to create things that will help us save time. And then this value, of course, will have to be surrounded with what? With single quotes. So I can do like this and then surround them with like this. Single quote at each of them. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we've come up with so far. So I'll just simply come and join this SQL, whereby you can just simply begin here with the opening bracket, and then at the end here we close their brackets. Outside this loop we close the brackets. Okay, now the SQL is going to be remember, already have this insert into the table name. Then you're going to add here, concatenate this guy dot equal to that, then you add equal sign, and then write the word values, and then add this last one. This one should be concatenating, dot put here dot, and then add that. Okay, dot like that. So after doing that, now let us go ahead and echo this SQL and see what we've come up with so far, and see if we're on the track or lost it. Refresh. Perfect, we are still on track. Can you see that? It's beautiful. It's generated, you can imagine. Insert into categories, then the name, comma, photo, and then the values, this, comma, this, and then surround with these quotes. So the other thing, sometimes an integer, it doesn't want to be surrounded with what? With quotes. Okay? So an integer is not supposed to be surrounded with quotes, you know that. So let's go ahead and check if something is an integer or not before we surround it with the quotes. So to do that, we'll first get how to get data type in PHP. How to get data type of variable in PHP. How shall we do that? There is this function called type. Okay, let's go ahead and see how it works. Function called type. Okay, can call this one data type. So before we surround it with the quotes, we have to first tell at least the data type. Okay, equals, we call it data type, equals, and then you pass here the value, because you know integers you're not supposed to surround with quotes, otherwise it will cause an error. So let me see the data type that we have here. For example, let me see if it will work. Refresh. Okay, refresh here. String. Okay, so it is string. So I'm going to say if it's not string, then it should be left as it is. If it is string, then it should. So I say now here, if that data type is string, if the data type is string, it should be surrounded with quotes. Else, if it is string, it should be surrounded with quotes. Else it should be left the way it is. Hope that will keep us away from issues of. So if it is string, surrounded with quotes. Else we don't surround it with what? With quotes. Single quotes. Those single quotes are the one that I'm talking about. Those single quotes. So I hope you're together now. Come and refresh. You see those are surrounded with what? With single quotes. Let us try to now pass the data type that is not having a what as that's not a string. For example, an integer. For example, parent ID. Where is it? Where are we? Here. For example, let's pass the parent ID. We say parent ID equals 0, a pure and clean 0, because an integer. Let's go ahead and see what we've got. You see, it was not surrounded with quotes. Can you see? Parent ID, it was not surrounded with quotes. That's a powerful insert tool that we're going to use even in projects that are not here. So I think that's all. Let's go ahead and now run it. That's beautiful. So to run it, I'll just simply, let me first remove this echo thing and dying thing. Is no more echo, no more print. Okay. So let's go ahead and run it. So to run it, we are going to first need global of connection, con, and then after we'll go ahead and execute it and just say if con, and then you pass the query, and then pass the SQL. Then here can die success, and then here can die else failed. Okay, refresh, success, beautiful. Okay, so let's go ahead and return here whatever comes back. Okay, let us return here, return true, and here return false, like this. Okay, so that's beautiful. So that's great. Okay, that is really great. We can now use this function to insert any kind of data in any table with simplicity. Wow. So make sure that you understand it. You can pause the video and look at it very carefully and create such function for your own. Okay, and make sure that you understand it and also maybe implement it in your own projects. So there, after creating that insert function, so we'll no need again to write those kind of inserts, weird inserts. So after creating the insert function, now the next thing is, let me remove even this. Okay, the next thing is we're going to check if it successfully uploads, we'll direct to all. If it fails, then direct to the other side. So I'll just simply say if I'm just going to surround this one with if, because to return true or false. So I'll just surround this guy with if db insert into categories this data is true, I'm going to redirect to all categories, else I'll redirect on this very form. Okay, so let me remove these unnecessary things. Now what we're going to do here, we're going to say if it's successful, we should redirect it to all categories. Okay, here admin categories, yes. So I'm just going to put here header and then pass location and then pass the file. So that is if it's successful. Let me also remember to put the what, to put the message. Okay, so we just simply put alert and then say this one in case it fails, so the class will be danger and the thing is going to be failed to create category, please try again. Okay, so put your semicolon. Okay, semicolon there. So and here we put success and then put created a category created successfully, created category successfully. Then come and close this guy here. I can redirect to categories, not categories, add all categories. And then here we die. We do what? We do die. Beautiful. So save, come and refresh. Okay, created category successfully. Beautiful. Okay, so now when it creates a category successfully, one more thing that we have not forget, we have to clean the form. We have to clean the form. You remember we're saving some things in the form here, so you have to clean this form and make it done, otherwise it will keep those stuff. So, and we do that only here when it is successful, and set, and then we pass that guy. So by doing like this, we'll be able to do what, they have things in control. So now the next thing, maybe we need now to list the categories. But before we list the categories, let us first go and finish the categories form, which is add categories. Where? Here, products. Where is admin dashboard? Create categories here. Okay, so I have to add the description and the what, and the parent, if it has parent or not. So to do that, we'll have to see what we're missing. Let me come and find out here from the table. We are missing the name is over, photo is over, parent in case it has a parent, and description. So description, we're going to create again another input. So we'll come here to our form of add. So we already have this first input, and then we're going to have another input for parent category. And some categories will have some parents. So let me come here and call this one, call MD6, and also create another one, call MD6 here. Okay, call MD. So this is where we're going to have the parent category and then the photo. And put here parent category, it will be option. Parent category, it will be option, and then parent category. So it's going to also have this type of what, of an input. So I'll come and copy this and come and paste it here. I'll just remove these two. I'll only keep the word form group. Okay, paste the guy there. Okay, paste this one here, and it's going to be parent category, and the name is going to be parent category, like that. No, this is supposed to be name parent category, parent category. So after doing that, description, we'll work on it. Okay, description will work on it. Let's first fix this one, parent category. So let's go ahead and refresh. Okay, so here you have parent category, and here you have the photo. So this photo, okay, that's okay. Now parent category is supposed to reference an existing category, right? It's supposed to reference an existing category, a category that does not have a parent. So what does that mean? It means that we need to select all the categories that we have and then make them a drop down here. So we have two things to do. First of all, to write the select SQL function, and the second thing is now to do what? To write also the drop down of selection. So I don't know which one I should begin with. Okay, I think we should begin with selection of the drop down of selection. Then we can work with in UI, and then we can work with selecting the next video from database. So let's go ahead and do that. We will do what? We will go ahead, and this one for text. Now let's go ahead and create another one for select. So I'll just simply press Ctrl and click on this. It's going to look much more like select, like text. So I'll just go ahead and copy this of select text. I'm going to create another one called select input. Okay, so I'm just going to call this one select input. Select input. So select input, it will come with the data. Okay, and then the most important part here is going to come with options. Options, because it's going to be a drop down. So I'm going to put here something called options. It's going to be horrible. It's going to be not to be simple, and this one I know, because having some kind of selection. So it will take the data itself and then the options. So how does select look like? Let's first write here the plain HTML, and then we'll come and put it here. Okay, so select will look like this. Select like that. Then we'll have here what we call options. Options. Okay, so that's how it look like. Okay, so let's go ahead and create it. We will not fear it. So I'll cut that, come and paste it here. Okay, first of all, the label will remain the same. The label will remain the same, meaning this label will remain the way it is. Then the whole problem is here in the input, this input selection. So let's put this one into into quotes, single quotes, one. So like this. So the next thing, this first thing, these parameters that we have here, they are going to remain also the same. These ones, beginning from this up to the last, they are going to remain the same. So I'm going to cut them and come and paste them here. Okay, the only difference is this thing of options. So I can remove this guy here, and I'm going to replace it with this guy. So the only thing here is going to be that one of option. So the option is going to be these very options, these ones. The only thing here, I also have to remove the value, because we don't do the value here in select. The value starting from here up to here has to be removed. Okay, so now also see how we generate the options. So I can come here and say, maybe I can call this one select tag equals that, and then I'm going to create another one called select options. Okay, select. I'm just trying to show you how you can create things that you're going to reuse again and again, hence saving your time. So options, select options. equals nothing by default. Okay, nothing. So now we're going to loop through these options. I'll assume it is an array, this one, and I'm going to loop through it. Okay, so I'm going to loop through it for each like this. So these options, they'll have a key and a value. So we'll make a key to be what the user will see, and the value to be what, the key to be the value, to be the what they will be